The Meseta isn't finished with us yet. One of the creepiest pilgrim encounters I've ever read took place on this very stretch of the Camino, and it might make you think twice about walking it by yourself. Plus, there's a route that you might want to avoid, and a forest that was created magically or miraculously, or maybe just by myth. I don't know. Let's get walking. There are not many great markings that direct you the way leaving Shahagon, but as soon as you cross the river leaving Shahagon is where you have the story of Charlemagne's lances that budded or that came back to life. And a pretty interesting story. Charlemagne was trying to make this road safe for pilgrims as he pushed the villain Igerlon to this region. Just beyond this river, there were these meadows with this flat, fertile plain. Charlemagne's army was camped out right here by the river, ready for the battle the next day. And they just impaled their lances into the ground in front of their camp between them and the enemy. Lances aimed straight up as they went to bed that night. When they woke the next day, the men that would be martyred in battle for this godly mission found that their lances had grown bark and sprouted leaves. So the spears went from dead wood to live wood, which would mirror what would happen to a martyr leaving this life, going into eternal life. They saw this as God's divine power, and so they cut their lances off at the base. And from the staves whose roots remain buried, they say, grew the great forest that you see here today. Turpin reports that 40,000 Christians died in that battle that day, including the legendary fighter Roland, including his father. Today, the site is known as the Municipal Camping Area, but now you know the rest of the story. You know how the forest came to be, or did it? So that's all as you're leaving Shahagon, with the story of Charlemagne's Field of Lances. I love the weird, strange stories like that, tied to the Camino and the route and things that you're gonna see. The history, the mythology, some things that are true. What's that? I mean, come on, those could have been a bunch of lances that they stuck straight up. You never know. You never know. In the summer, beautiful sunflowers seem to cheer you on as you walk. But the Camino is truly magical any time of the year. It took a little less than an hour from Shahagon to reach this crossroads where we had to decide which direction we're going to take for the next couple days. To the right is the Roman road, but we're going to go to the left. We have a contact in Burgo Ranero who told us that the Roman road is a lot of times muddy, even days after it rains. So we'll head through Burgo Ranero instead, plus our contact is really a great cook, so it's going to be worth it. And by going through Burgo Ranero, we'll walk along this stretch where they filmed a few seconds of the movie The Way. It's kind of hard to pinpoint the exact location along this road, but I couldn't resist trying to recreate the scene anyway. And this is another one of those times where, humorously, Tom is walking the wrong direction. I'm going to be a bit easy on him because he is facing a time of grief in his life. By the time we reached Bercianos del Rio Camino, it had been a little less than 2 hours since leaving Shahagon. On our first Camino, we saw this interesting place, and we decided to stay here tonight on our second Camino. I'm glad we stayed here because by a miraculous coincidence, this is where we met Susanna and Mia. They are the ladies who recorded the amazing footage 10 days earlier on the fall equinox at San Juan de Ortega, when the light shines perfectly through the window and illuminates the Annunciation. Had we not met them over dinner here, we never would have had the footage for the miracle of light. Now, how's that for strange Camino coincidences? If you want to stay here, you'll recognize it by the ancient pilgrim pictographs. Oh, archaeology is fun. I think it tells the pilgrim story. You begin this route climbing the Pyrenees, and that pilgrim looks absolutely exhausted. And then you cross the Alto del Perdón, that big wind turbine area. and you settle into the rhythm of the Meseta. And finally, you find your walking legs. The Camino shell, that's probably the halfway point that we recently passed. The pilgrim is finally finding their stride, but look at what's still ahead. First comes the climb to Cruz de Ferro, the highest point of the Camino Frances, where so many pilgrims leave behind a token of a burden that they carry. Then comes the rugged ascent to O Sombrero. And something's changed. Your body might feel tired, but your spirit is stronger than ever. And by the time you walk into Santiago, you're not the same person who started. You are a pilgrim. One thing you'll notice on the Camino is all the ermitas. That's simply a Spanish word for a small chapel like this one. In English, it might be called a hermitage. This one is made from adobe brick, so I thought it looked kind of interesting, like many of the other traditional buildings here in this community. Looking at it close up, you can see the stucco, the adobe, rocks, and textures all mixed up, with even some chicken wire used for support. On the way out of town, I noticed this mural. At first, it looked to me like Jesus was kind of praying for us, which reminded me of that Bible verse that says he lives to make intercession for us. But then I turned the camera and it almost looks like he was looking ahead toward Santiago, maybe reminding us that he's on the road with us and that it was time to keep on walking. As we walked a little farther toward Santiago, I remembered a conversation from the day before, a Camino lesson I've carried with me ever since, and one that's changed how I plan my Camino journeys. So last night at dinner, we were talking about how far we had walked, and because some people have walked quite a bit further than us, and then there was someone that walked quite a bit shorter than us. And words of wisdom on the Camino from Mia of Denmark. She said, it does not matter how little or how far you go, just walk the Camino. It's your Camino. So I like that. It doesn't make any difference, and you shouldn't be embarrassed about how little you go or proud about how far you go. That's not why you walk. You walk for other reasons, not for distance. So no matter how little or how far you go, it's your Camino. Enjoy it. But we walked like 70 kilometers yesterday. No, I don't think that's possible. In the movie The Way, the entire Meseta from Burgos to León gets only 2 minutes and 10 seconds of airtime. And part of those 2 minutes was filmed right here, where the pilgrims, kind of had each other's backs while answering nature's call. It was here on our very first Camino that I witnessed something I'll never forget. Someone was doing the Camino without legs. That spoke volumes to me about refusing to let obstacles define what's possible. I've also seen the strangest bicycle here. It's one that fits a forward and a backwards passenger. Absolutely love it. That is so cool. It's a bicycle that is both forward and backward at the same time. That is so much fun for one person. The person videoing as they're going by. Not for the driver, not for the person on the back, whatever they're doing. But it is pretty funny looking. I love it. There's not a lot after Bercianos del Rio Camino. One book that I read only gives one interesting event within this section. Lathi was a pilgrim in the 1600s, and he writes about something that he saw in this area. He said, we came across a dead pilgrim and 2 wolves were eating on the body. And so they chased the wolves away, and then they headed on into El Burgo Ranero, which is where we're heading into now. And they told the priest about it and said, hey, there's a dead pilgrim back there. You need to go get that dead pilgrim. I'm like, why didn't you just bring the dead pilgrim, drag it with you rather than putting it on someone else to do? But that's what they did. Would have been kind of difficult anyway. At least they chased the wolves away. So that's the only interesting thing that I know of as you're heading into El Burgo Ranero. In the 1700s, there was another pilgrim that writes that they had to hire a guide to take them through this area, otherwise they would get lost. But now we got this wonderful trail that helps us. Oh, times are good. This is a great time to be living. Yeah. Did you know the Bible says in the book of Acts that God chose the place and times that we would all live? I'm glad he chose a place that had albergues and places to sleep in and food every 5 or 10 kilometers or miles. Great time to be alive. Here's some more wisdom from under the tunnel. Escaping from here, escaping from hell, from the top of the roots we go. I don't know what that means. Here's another one. You don't choose a life, you live one. Aha, that's from the beginning of the movie. I know what that means. This is a long stretch, but I'm telling you, I love Maria Jesus's cooking. I tried to stay at her place on both of our Caminos, but she was fully booked every time. I think it's a pension with only 4 rooms called La Costa del Adobe. Her food has not disappointed me in any way, and it makes it worth taking this route over the Roman road for me personally. Adios, Maria Jesus. I'll see you later. Leaving El Burgo Ranero, we faced 6 kilometers to Reliegos. Now you can spend those kilometers in peaceful solitude, or you can have a little fun. We joined countless pilgrims who've tried to place a stone at one of the many crosses that's throughout this path. It's traditional to leave one at the base, but of course we wanted to see if we could get ours to stay up there really high. If that doesn't keep you entertained, you can always look for Bigfoot in the trees. Or you could try pulling a sword from the stone. Or you could lead your fellow pilgrims onward, or just walk in whatever manner that you can. Before you know it, you'll be arriving in Reliegos, where another strange story took place. It was the very same year as the famous Roswell incident in the United States, 1947, when people claimed that something from outer space crashed in the New Mexico desert. Well, in December of that same year, Reliegos had its own visitor from space. A meteorite fell right here, and we're going to see where it landed. In 2016, they placed this monument to mark the 70th anniversary of the meteorite that fell here in December of 47. So this is it. This is the spot where a rock from outer space came crashing to the earth. Well, it's a little bit harder to see than I expected. But this is the place. Okay, apparently the meteorite itself is in a museum, and all that's left here is the plaque and a sign marking where one of Spain's most famous meteorites landed. Nothing to see here, folks. Let's move along and let's find that Elvis bar. Here's Bar Elvis, one of Camino's most famous bars. Some people say it appears in the movie The Way. Now, I've watched the movie over and over and over and over again. I could never find it. Maybe the scene was cut before the final release. Maybe it only appears in certain versions, or maybe the film crew simply stopped over here and over the years people assumed that it was in the movie. If you know for certain, let me know in the comments. I'll put the coordinates below because it wasn't easy for me to find. On one Camino, Reliegos was quiet and you could hear your footsteps echoing through town. On another Camino, it looked like half the village had climbed into these tiny cars and decided to have a parade.
Oh my! That's hilarious!
But there was still more Camino ahead, so we kept walking west because our road wasn't finished yet. One thing's for sure, the Meseta wasn't boring for us. Gina always found a way to entertain herself.
Wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Wheels of the bus go round and round, all through the town. Wow!
And along the way, we found plenty of encouragement too. Like, you are amazing. Well, yes you are, just around the corner. Well, that's good to know. Love is the answer. Well, unless it's a math question. Camino de Santiago, this way. And, don't eat this? Okay, good advice. Then finally, we started seeing signs. Get it? Signs. that Mansilla was getting close. Gina! Wait for me! And after a stretch like this, I'd say this sculpture captures exactly how many pilgrims are feeling. It's been almost 37 kilometers since Shahagon to make it here to Mansilla de las Mulas. Most pilgrims break that up into 1 or 2 stages like we did because it can be a tough stretch. But there's something motivating about pushing yourself through to here. Mansilla de las Mulas is the last major town before León on the Camino Frances. For many pilgrims, this is their last overnight stop before reaching León. We're not finished with the Meseta, but tomorrow we'll trade these endless wheat fields for one of the Camino's greatest cities. We've seen a lot in this episode, and if you enjoy these strange Camino stories and myths and legends and history and folklore, we'd really appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button and the thumbs up like button. And honestly, comments help so much. Let me know where you're from, or tell me your favorite Camino story that you have personally, or maybe your favorite one from this episode. Or let me know how much money you make a year. Okay, maybe not that last one, but any comments do help because that helps people discover these videos. Well, if you're still here, you've unlocked today's bonus scene, and it's actually a warning. Those wolves that we talked about earlier in this episode, they may still be roaming the Camino. So I wouldn't walk this section alone on a full moon. But until next time, buen camino, my friends.